Let me tell you something that's going to sound completely backwards. You don't need a big audience to make big money. In fact, some of the most successful professionals I know, the ones pulling in $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 a month, they have got audiences smaller than your high school class. Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you in the next 10 minutes. But here's the catch. If you're sitting around waiting to build your audience first before starting to sell, you are playing the game you're already losing. Stick with me because what I'm about to share with you, the corporate employees I work with are using this exact framework to land their first clients while still working their 9 to 5 with zero followers, zero content library, and zero personal brand. And if you're thinking, yeah, but Richard, I'm not yet there. My brother, my sister, that's exactly why you need to hear this. Now look, when I first started, I had this wild idea that I needed thousands of people following me before I could make my first dollar online. And I was out there thinking, like maybe I need to be like the Beyonce of business coaching before anyone would take me seriously. These were my thoughts. But guess what? I was dead wrong. I wasted 18 months trying to create content for an audience that didn't exist when I could have been serving clients who were already looking for exactly what I had. But I didn't know. And here's what nobody tells you. You don't need an audience. You need access. This is huge. You need access. And so today in this video, I'm going to show you how to get that access, how to leverage it, and how to turn it into real revenue. Even if your LinkedIn has 47 connections and your Instagram just has pictures of your lunch, don't worry, because here's the truth. There are professionals right now, I'm talking about accountants, HR specialists, project managers, engineers, who are making way more money than influencers with 100K followers. And the last time I had an influencer complaining, he had 3 million followers, but he couldn't afford rent. This is what I'm talking about. And so these professionals are doing it with audiences so small you could fit them into a WhatsApp group. That is all they need to be able to make big monies. So guess what? Here is what we are covering today. First, I'm going to destroy the myth that you need a big audience. That's number one. That you need a big audience to sell to, we're going to destroy that, especially selling high ticket. And I'm going to show you the exact math that proves why small audience is actually better. It's going to be amazing. Second, I'm going to walk you through the two-phase offer builder that my clients use to create irresistible offers in 48 hours. Offers so good that people chase them down to buy. That's why we call it irresistible offer. And third, and this is the game changer, I'm going to reveal the 3 invisible audiences you already have access to right now. They are sitting in plain sight that you've been completely ignoring. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why not having an audience might actually be your biggest advantage. It might surprise you. But before we get into it, let me show you something that will blow your mind. Let me show you something that will blow your mind. So, let me tell you about Catherine. Catherine is CPA, brilliant woman, 18 years in finance, worked with international NGOs, donor portfolios, that whole 9 yards. She's the director of finance, finance at an organization. When she came to me, she had like maybe 200 LinkedIn connection, no Instagram, no YouTube channel, no personal brand. And know what she said to me? She said, Richard, I don't have time to be posting content 3 times a day. I've got a full-time job. How am I supposed to build an audience fast? This was word for word for what she said. So I looked at her and said, Catherine, you don't need to build an audience. You need to build an offer. And guess what? Within 6 weeks, she created something called the Financial Reporting Clarity Insight Program. Now, this wasn't some massive course with 47 modules, a Facebook group. This was a deep dive diagnostic for non-profit leaders who were drowning in messy financial reporting. As simple as that. And you know what? She started having conversations and she started having people showing interest and coming in for her offer. So really, if she is charging that offer like $500, guess what? She has positioned herself to make money already every month with zero audience, zero ads, zero content strategy. This is what I'm talking about, because here's what Catherine understood that most people don't. You don't need 10,000 people to know about your offer. You need 10 people to need your offer. And that's the shift I want to make today. You do not want 100,000 people to know about you. Now, let me kill a lie real quick. A lie that has been fed to you by every guru, every course creator, every build your brand coach out there. They tell you you need to grow your audience fast, then monetize later. And I'm here to tell you this. That is backwards. That's backwards. See, when you spend all your time trying to build an audience before you have a proven offer, you know what you're doing? You're building a stadium before you have figured out what sport you're playing. Think about that. You're gathering a crowd with no product to sell to them. And then when you finally do launch something, you're in panic because you realize that your audience doesn't want what you're selling. But even the essence of audience as you're beginning, what kind of audience are you going to attract? Because it is your offer that determines the kind of audience you're going to attract. So you see, that's not a strategy, that's a gamble. But here's the real magic. When you build your offer fast, when you test it with real people, when you get them real results, so when you get them real results, you know what happens? They become your audience. They become your marketing team. They become your reference engine. They tell everyone they know, and suddenly you're not chasing followers, you're attracting clients. So if you've been waiting to build your platform before you can start selling, stop. Just stop. Your offer is your platform. Yes, your results are your platform. Yes, your transformation is your platform. Everything else, that is noise. That is noise. So with that, let's jump into our two-phase offer builder. So let's talk about how you actually build this offer. How do you actually build the offer? The thing that lets you sell without an audience. Call it the offer. So I call this process the two-phase offer builder for busy professionals. And it's specifically designed for people like you who don't have time to become full-time content creators. So phase one of the two-phase is the clarity sprint. This is where you get crystal clear on three things, not 10, three things. One, who you serve. Not everybody, not professionals, not people who need help, we get specific. Who do you help? Maybe you might say network marketers struggling with Facebook ads. Very specific. Burned out corporate women looking to pivot. Specific. Non-profit leaders drowning in financial reporting chaos. Specific. So that's number one. Number two, transformation. Transformation. What is the transformation that you deliver? Not what you do, what they get. Not I teach time management, but I help working moms reclaim 10 hours a week without hiring help. You see, that is what they get. Number three is your unique mechanism. This is the how, your preparatory system, your framework, your secret sauce that makes your offer different from every other solution out there. So we do this within 48 hours, not 6 months. 48 hours, you should be able to have your offer very clear. Because speed kills complexity, and complexity kills sales. So that's phase one. Now, phase two is the validation loop. So phase two is the validation loop. Now, here's where most people mess up. They build the offer, they price it, they create a sales page, and they launch it into the void, hoping someone bites. Wrong. What we do instead is this. We take your offer and we test it with 5 people. That's it, 5 people. We don't need 5,000 followers. We need, 5 to 20 conversations. So we reach out to our warm audience. We reach out to people in our networks, former colleagues, LinkedIn connections, people in industry groups, and we say something very kind. Hey, I'm working on something for a specific type of person, and I'm looking for 5 people to go through it with me at a better price. Better price meaning 50% discount. So are you interested? And here's the magic. Even if 2 of those people say yes and pay you, you've just validated your offer. At this point, we are not looking to make money. At this point, we are looking to have proof of concept. to have testimonials, to have case studies. This is what we are looking for at that point. And that becomes the foundation of everything else. No massive audience required, just clarity, conviction, and conversations. This is very huge. Clarity, convictions, and conversations. So this brings me to what you must have been waiting for. The 3 invisible audiences. I promised you this earlier. So here is the 3 invisible audiences. You already have access to them. They have been, I know you've been completely ignoring, but now it's time you reach out to them. Number 1 is your network. You know how many connections you have on LinkedIn? How many former colleagues you've worked with over the years? How many people in the same professional association as you? That's your first audience. They already know you. They already trust you. They've already seen your work. And most of you are sitting on this gold mine and you're thinking, oh, you see, but I can't sell to them. They are my friends. Look, my brother, look, my sister, King Solomon didn't wait for strangers to show up. He served the people who already knew his reputation. Before the internet came, it is said how when Bill Gates was launching, he wrote to 1,000 people. This was from his audience. And from 1,000 people, 11 responded positively. I mean, we're the ones who invested and all of them are billionaires right now. I guess the other ones are now kicking themselves in the grave for missing an opportunity. So reach out. That's your first secret audience. The second invisible audience is adjacent communities. Adjacent communities. Every niche you serve, HR professionals, financial advisors, consultants, they all hang out somewhere. Maybe Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, industry forums, local meetup. You don't need to build these communities. You just need to show up in them and provide value. Answer questions, share insights, be the person who actually helps without asking for something in return. And when you finally do have the offer, you won't need to pitch it. People will ask you about it. That's number 2. Number 3, invisible audience is other people's audiences. This is the fastest path to clients and almost nobody uses it. First, find someone who already has the audience you want. Maybe a podcaster, a YouTube channel, a blogger, a newsletter, and offer them something value in exchange for exposure. Be a guest on their show. Write an article for their blog. Co-host a webinar. So you're not building this audience, you're borrowing one. And if you deliver value, a percentage of that audience becomes your audience. See, you don't need followers. You need access. That's where we started. And you already have it. You are not just exploring and you're not just maximizing this access. Now, I want to leave you with something my mentor Myron Golden taught me. And it changed everything about how I sell. Myron says, you will never be able to sell until you care more about them getting their result than you do about getting their money. Let that sink. Let me say it one more time. Myron says you'll never be able to sell until you care more about them getting their result than you do about getting their money. Care about them. So most professionals fail at selling, not because they are bad at sales, but because they are so desperate for the sale that they rig up the need. And people can smell that. But when you genuinely really believe that your offer will transform someone's life, when you've tested it, validated it, seen it work, you stop trying to sell and you start serving. You start going out and you know the good thing is serving is magnetic. That's the difference between professionals who struggle to make their first $1,000 and professionals who close 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 deals without no audience, with no audience. They don't need the sell, they want the transformation. This is key. And when you operate from that place, I can guarantee you, my bro, my sister, you become unstoppable. You become unstoppable. So here's what I want you to do right now. Step 1, get clear on your offer. That's step 1. Who do you serve? What transformation do you deliver? What is your unique mechanism? Step 2, reach out to 10 people this week. Just 10. Former colleagues, LinkedIn connection, people in your industry group. and then what? Test your offer. Step number 3, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a big audience. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for when the rains will come. Now, if you want help building your offer, if you want to use the exact 2-phase offer builder that my clients used to go from idea to income, in 48 hours, I've put together a live training that walks you through the entire process step by step. The link is in the description. It's called the Offer Clarity Blueprint Workshop. And if you've got value from this video, do me a favor, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, and drop a comment below telling me what's the one thing stopping you from launching your offer right now. What's that one thing? I will read it myself and I will personally respond to you as deep as I can. Remember, you don't need an audience. You need an offer, clarity, and the courage to put it in front of 10 people. Go make it happen. I'll see you in the next one.